Hi everyone, this is Dan Stolbarger. Welcome to this week's Middle East Update, KFIR. And it's the week of December 20th, and it's snowing up here, so it does look like we'll have a white Christmas. I wish you all season's greetings, merriest of Christmases, and I hope that we experience the joy of receiving the newborn King. Amen. Well, let's take a look. Again, a reminder, go to the website, holygroundexplorations.com, to access the PDF PowerPoint that accompanies this YouTube video. Our news bites this week, Brazil is making a commitment in 2020 to move the nation's embassy to Israel's capital. Where is that? That's right. Jerusalem. Israel's busted a Palestinian terror cell group, the PFLP. There'll be another slide concerning this motley crew, but the operatives in Ramallah, the Shin Bet was able to seize a large number of guns, ammunition, fertilizer for making bombs, and other equipment. This is very significant because they arrested over 50 people. Again, news bites. Defensive Minister Naftali Bennett. There's going to be some back and forth here between Israel and Iran, and of course Israel and Hezbollah and all that. But Bennett has made the quote, or the comment, as long as Iran tries to establish itself on Syrian soil, Iran will pay the ultimate price. It will sink into the sand dunes of Syria. And then finally, from our friends at the Palestinian Media Watch, an op-ed article in a daily Palestinian newspaper makes the quote that the Israeli occupation's security forces are interested in there being drug needles in the hands of children, youth, and young people instead of books, pens, or work tools, because drug needles kill the soul and lead the user to a sense or a stage of helplessness. This coming from the Palestinians who, if you take a look at their textbooks, you can understand the hypocrisy of all of this. The textbooks that begin brainwashing children at such a young age to hate and to kill. Truly a legacy of hate. Well, moving on into sort of the major portion of this, the IDF Chief Staff Lieutenant General Avi Kokavai, I hope I got that right, is warning that Israel is now facing a growing number of enemies on multiple fronts, and he's alerting, I guess I would say, the Israeli people as to the importance of the IDF, or any organization, especially the IDF, that they cannot be satisfied with maintaining and preserving the status quo. The IDF must change and innovate in order to beat its enemy to the punch and to develop a significant advantage. This next slide backs that up, because we read here from the IDF again about the major terror tunnels in the north. I'm not just talking about Gaza. IDF officials are warning that the terror tunnels under the northern border pose a major threat. A quote from the guy that's sort of in charge of tunnel terrorism, Major General Mickey Eidelstein. He says there's 100% chance that we will face the challenge of the tunnels in Gaza and in Lebanon. He goes on to say every village in the north has tunnels, and the IDF needs to spare no effort in meeting the challenge. Tunnel warfare reduces the Israeli advantage, especially on ground or in the air. So back up to that last slide. It's necessary for the IDF to be innovative in order to beat its enemies and maintain a significant advantage. Talked about threats, obviously. This one again from Iran, Hezbollah, and this last Friday, Benjamin Netanyahu directly warned Hezbollah, again, a senior in the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps in Iran, made the comment that Iran would destroy Tel Aviv from Lebanon. And again, from Netanyahu's perspective, it makes it clear that it exposes the truth that Hezbollah is simply Iran's arm in the north against Israel. And then he goes on to say, I'd like to make it clear that if Nasrallah dares to attack Israel, the organization and the Lebanese state, both Hezbollah and the Lebanese state that enable aggression from its territory, will pay a very, very high price. Turkey back in the news. Once again, Turkey giving an open door to Hamas. Turkey's President Erdogan is turning a blind eye to the fact that there are senior Hamas officials that are based in Istanbul, and they're actively plotting terrorist attacks against, Israel. And this from the British daily The Telegraph. It was reported on Wednesday. No big surprise here, but every so often these things have to be, in a sense, leaked out in order for Turkey and others to know you're not fooling the IDF, Shin Bet, Mossad, etc. Back to what I was saying about this organization, the Palestinian Authority, the PFLP. There's a slide here. Heil Hitler, it says, the students of this group, they cry out condemnations of the Palestinian Authority and because of their security coordination with Israel. They spoke about the importance of Palestinian national unity, calling for more terrorist activity, more suicide bombings, and at one point you can see in the pictures here, they make the Nazi salute, shouting that the stolen homeland must be liberated in every way. The United Nations, for Israel, it's the United Nothings or ugly Nazis or whatever. Did you know that the UN General Assembly adopted 8 resolutions condemning the state of Israel on Friday? Israel is the only country to face this treatment today. Other countries like North Korea, Venezuela, they'll walk away with 0 repercussions for their abuses of human rights. Now remember, last month the Palestinian Islamic Jihad terrorist group assaulted Israeli civilians with a barrage of 400 rockets. The UN General Assembly and Human Rights Council mummed. They stay silent regarding this. All right, we talked about last week Nikki Haley's comments about Canada dealing with the devil, with aligning and agreeing and voting for North Korea's sponsored resolution for the right of the Palestinian to self-determination. We're going to keep our eyes on what transpires here, but Nikki is speaking out against Canada. A couple more things before we're done. Anti-Semitism, we talk about its growth. You can check out this photo in the slide. Jews belong in the ovens. Swastika. This is a map of New York City. And this year in New York City's police department, they've reported over 150 anti-Semitic hate crimes, which is 63% increase from 2018. And in one of the most densely Jewish areas in the world, in New York, the trend of this rising anti-Semitism is really spreading out throughout the world. And then I know Trump was, quote, impeached this week. Our country, who knows what's going on and what the repercussions of all of this is going to be. But my quote of the week is from President Donald Trump at a Hanukkah party in the White House. Let me read you his quote. "The miracle of Hanukkah is the miracle of Israel. The descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob have endured unthinkable persecution and oppression, but no force has ever crushed your spirit, and no evil has ever extinguished your faith. That is why the Jewish people shine as a light to all nations." And right now, I'm thinking about what's going on and the love that's all over Israel and all over and about Jerusalem. Again, Genesis 12, "I will bless those that bless thee, and I will curse those that curse thee." That's the KFIR Middle East report for this week. Again, Merry Christmas, and I look forward to being back again in a week. Shalom.